Muslim, Christian, Jew, Hindu, Buddhist, and atheist one too, and all in between. This is for the absolute positive, good God and truth of your lives, only crossing infinitely bigger and better. I'd like to recap and highlight some of the things that I've been sharing online and in my posts and in my videos, just to give you an insight on what I'm trying to do and who I am. If you go to Nag Hammadi scriptures, you'll find the revelation of Adamas, the father of all. And in these revelations, Adamas is the father of all things good as truth, as far as mankind goes, only crossing bigger and better. And this revelation is the revelation of Jesus Christ, the Christ crossing good God and truth of the Adamas man, King of kings, God of gods, of all God, truth, reality, check I am. Again, if you've seen anything that I've posted, you will see that I state that Adom, right, come from a civilization that was he shafted by Shiva. And he is a snake god devil. Really, he's just the devil. And he's the incarnate Yaldabaoth Samuel as a devilish spirit. And in the flesh, he's Yahweh and he's Shiva. Okay? And what he did is he shafted the world with faith. Every time you crisscross with faith, it's the Hindu Sindhu that you do, okay? Hinduism is the first faith of religion of the world, okay? And what happened is Shiva used Eve to manipulate Adam, and it wasn't Eve's fault, okay? She came from the Hindu race of Shiva, and he presented her at his rib and at his side after the world had become he shafted. And Adam was the god and the king of the world, of that world, okay, before it was he shafted. And it was the megalithic world, and it was a true sister reflection of the sun with pyramids all over all, okay? And it was stated good as truth, and after it was he shafted, Adam came to himself in the garden fully grown. He had no bearings on reality check, right? And he knew he was an atomic man created good as truth, but he didn't know how to always stay connected to it. And Shiva presented him with Eve, and he looked up and he seen Eve, and she was the best thing going in the garden, and her being other than the dysfunction of him, of not knowing who he was, he bonded with her, and he took on this negatively less knowledge, this less gnosis, okay, which is called faith, okay? And all faith is only negative to what is good as truth. Now, all faith has positive variables, okay? But they don't sustain you lasting. And because of that, there's no consistency only to an absolute bigger, better of you here and now. The only way you can be good as truth, lasting and consistently only to an absolute bigger, better of you here and now, right, is more positive than negative, okay? And because he could not connect to it, he lived 930 years and eventually died of it. But prior to that, right, he took on the fruit of faith of Eve, and he was he shafted. They were both he shafted by the Shiva snake god devil, okay? And it caused them to act nutty and fruity and hallucinate that the world had crisscrossed bad, evil, and sinful. And if he would have crossed Eve back only one more positive than all that negativity, that'd been the absolute bigger, better standard of Cain and Abel and the world as we know it. But because he did not do it, right, it's fallen on to the reality check of the bonding Adam man evolved of all I am, King Adamas of all God, truth reality check I am. Again, the Christ crossing good truth of God of the man up of all I am. Okay. Now, I told you that Adam had no bearings on how to stay connected good as truth to his shape, form, and mass. He lost the ability to rationalize the knowledge of all I am to only cross one more positive than all negativity. Always, the only way you can add up, stay, or be good as truth by choice, consistently lasting only to an absolute bigger, better of you here and now. And like I said, he was shafted by Shiva and lived 930 more years, and him and his descendants all eventually died of it. And this is the state of the world today. But I'm going to explain something to you. When you live and die like that, you're no better than an animal. You could tell a monkey or a doggy, no, sit, stay, lay, right? Basic commands. But you will never tell that animal to go do more positive than the negatives of it always. It's the only way you can add up, stay, or be good as truth. It's the only absolute bigger, better of you here now, alive and well, lasting always. You can't suffer out of existence, decay, disintegrate, or die of Christ crossing that rightful, truthful way. As stated at the crucifixion, right? You have to steal your lives back from all faithful negativity. Jesus didn't die for the sins of mankind. He set the standard that never dies. He set the example that never dies. He set the new covenant of mankind to never die, okay? With his life, he was only one more positive than all negativity. The only way you could add up, stay, or be good is truth. And at the crucifixion, the thief believed that, right? And he was able to bond more positive than anything negative about him, right? As the good truth of God of Jesus Christ, right? Bigger and better than all them fools of faith in their negativity that left that other fool hanging out to one nothing, and they stole their lives back. And Jesus told the thief, you'll be in paradise with me today. And he didn't scream out, oh God, why have you forsaken me? He screamed out, oh God, don't forsake me, because he knew he was good as truth, more positive than any negativity. You can't suffer out of existence, decay, disintegrate, or die of that. If you only state that way from your mind through your body to the world, and then the lights go out on your mind, it's all your body knows to be. Okay? So the thief woke up before Jesus, right? Rolled back the tomb, sent him on his rightful, truthful way, alive and well, not a ghost, not a zombie, not part of any kind of apocalypse, but good as truth, alive and well, right? Mary seen the thief, right? Shining, more positive than negative, right? She asked if he knew what happened to Jesus. He said, yeah, I rolled back the tomb, and he went that way, right? She gave him a kiss, and she called him an angel. And that's how this story went to the reality check of us, okay? If you plug a plug into the wall, right, the male energy, the positive, better outweigh anything female negative about that plug, or you could possibly burn your house down, or your appliances won't work, okay? It's the same with your body. If you don't cross more positive male, right, than any female matter of you, right, good as the truth of God of your shape, form, and mass. The only way you can add up, stay, or be good as truth, right, to an absolute bigger and better, you won't be. And all you have is faith, and all faith is always negatively deficient to what is good as truth, okay? In reality check, right? No faith only teaches its followers to only cross more positive than negative always by articulation to keep them good as truth. So no faith is good as truth, and that's the bad, evil, sinful way of it. And it's even more than that. You're half male and you're half female. Only cross more positive than anything negative. More positive male than anything negative female. Any female negativity about you. The only way you can add up, stay, or be good as truth. If the sun, right, doesn't shine more positive and protonic than anything negatively neutronic about the earth, right? No life as we know it to the reality check of mankind can exist. If you don't shine only more positive than anything negatively neutronic about you, protonic, more positive than anything negatively neutronic about you, your life can't keep existing here and now. You're only prescribed here and now good as the truth of your shape, form, mass, more positive than any negativity that would not have you here and now, to the good truth of God of your shape, form, and mass. The substance, durability, and solidness of it, the value and volume of it. And just like at the crucifixion, right, you have to steal your life back from all faithful negativity with the good God and truth of you. Everything creation of existence is made of atom matter evolved. And I don't care if it's one atom or a mountain of atoms. As long as these atoms are more positive than anything negative about them, right, their shape, form, and mass are stated good as truth and can't be destroyed. And that's by the physics and laws of all known matter creation of existence. Inside each of these atoms are protons and neutrons, and on the outside of the atoms is the electron field. Well, everything that isn't you, right, is the matter around you, right? And it puts off its own energy, and depending on your polarity, right, is depending on how you absorb this energy, either more protonic, positive to the good truth of your shape, form, mass, or negatively deficient to the good truth of your shape, form, and mass. And inside of the atom, right, is protons and neutrons. Inside of all atoms is protons and neutrons. And the protons are 2 up quarks, 1 down quark. And the neutrons are 2 down quarks, 1 up quark. If the protons don't always overwhelm the neutrons, right, then the atom, right, is either too negatively charged, right, or it's not receiving enough energy to sustain its bonding matter. Now, as a man or a woman, the only way you can crisscross negative with negativity, right, just like at the crucifixion when the faithful governments of that day put Jesus and the thief and that fool on the cross, right, is by stating that things have crossed bad, evil, and sinful by articulation. And through that faith of you, right, it is a snake of energy on the neutrons of you. Because if those neutrons aren't sustained more positive always than anything negative about them, right, then they're always just negatively deficient of it, okay? And just like on the outside of an atom, right, when a neutron is in overwhelm more protonic, it's negatively charged and it's in a state of decay and disintegration. And it's the neutral nothing, okay? When this neutron is part of a neutron star, right, and it's not overwhelmed more positive and protonic, right, it pulsates with this negative neutronic energy until its matter eventually can't sustain it and it collapses into a black hole abyss. And this is what you do with your body when you crisscross with faith. It's a snake on the neutrons of you, right? And it's a snake on the neutrons of you because, like I said, all faith has positive variables, but none is lasting good as truth. So it's always negatively deficient to what is good as truth to crisscross with faith. And in reality check, right, to crisscross negative with negativity is to incarnate she, he, shafting devil of all people, places, and things. And over a volume of time, right, your matter can't sustain that, and it collapses into a black hole abyss, just infinitely negative of you here and now, with the devil shells of you forevermore. And it causes you to act nutty and fruity, hallucinating prior to that you have crossed bad, evil, and sinful, which is a lie on all God, truth, reality check of just negativity, that you need to cross back more positive always to be good as truth. And when our leadership does it, just like they did at the crucifixion, right, they state that things cross bad, evil, and sinful, and they make prisons, jails, wars, victims, and crooks, right? The conflicts, convicts of us without sparing no expense to only make things more positive than negative, right? They are the she, he, shafting, devilish leaders of us by articulation. See, because the average person, right, has leadership over them. And if this leadership, right, doesn't sustain you more positive than negative, always to keep you good as truth, right, by example and articulation, right, in reality check, right, they're just blind leading blind. And they're teaching suicide to all they love, cherish, and hate. Don't hate. The state of one more positive than negative is the only light, joy, warmth, good God, or truth, holy with spirit, all will ever know or be. It's the only state that all in body of Adam matter evolved is stated good to the truth of God of their shape, form, and mass, only crossing to an absolute bigger, better here and now of reality check. Jesus said, where two or more come together in my name, I am there. And where two or more atoms cross and bond, one more positive than all negativity, right? They are stated good as the truth of God of their shape, form, and mass, right? And not only that, where two or more atoms cross and bond, Christ-like, one more positive than all negativity, they make the shape, form, and mass of every body of everything, not to exclude every dimension of time and space you can think of, and every shape, form, and mass of God you can think of. The state of one more positive than negative is the only light, joy, warmth, good God, or truth, holy with spirit, all will ever know or be. It's the only state all in body of Adam matter evolved is stated good to the truth of God, their shape, form, and mass, only crossing to an absolute bigger, better here and now of reality check. It's the only state all prayers are answered in, all miracles come true in, all dreams come true in, and it's the only heavenly abode or paradise you will ever know or be in. It's the substance, durability, and solidness. It is the value and volume of all things you see, hear, taste, touch, smell, say, and do. With the buildings, trees, you, me, everybody of everything. To be more positive than negative is the good God and truth of everybody of everything, of shape, form, and mass, expressed one to the here and now of reality check, of solid, liquid, gas, plasma, of all matter, creation of existence, to the reality check of the atoms that we are evolved, right? Of all God, truth, reality check, we are. And that is a fact of God check. From the full thief man, God, King, incarnate out, Adamas man, King Adamas of all God, truth, reality check, I am King Adamas evolved of all God, truth, reality check, of all kings and queens of the children of God, of all, God, truth, reality check, I am. That's a fact of God check, God, truth, and reality check. Peace.